This regular monthly meeting of the St. Bernard Parish School Board is called to order. We'll open with prayer. Superintendent Boche, would you lead in the prayer? And Mr. Egan, would you lead us in the pledge?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you this evening for another productive school year, one dedicated to teaching and learning. As we dismiss our students and teachers this week, we pray for each of them a safe, restful summer. Particularly, we ask that you keep watch over those who travel, and we ask that you please return all of those in our school board family back to us safely in August. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Superintendent Boche, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Acevedo? Here. Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mrs. DeFatta?
Here.
Mr. Egan?
Here.
Mr. England? Mrs. Dysart is not with us. Dr. Pratt?
Here.
Dr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Nicosia?
Here.
Mr. Warner?
Here.
Okay, at this time on item 4 for the public hearing on 2014-2015 general fund and special revenue fund balance, do we have anyone from the general community for questions relative to this? And Mr. Fernandez is here to answer any questions relative to this budget. Not only the general audience, but anyone on the school board at this time has questions may present them at this time. Here none, we'll move the agenda.
Public hearing, yeah.
Do we need to vote?
Just close the public hearing.
Okay. Okay, we'll just close item 4 and move the agenda on. Do we have, Ms. Benezak, any community concern sign-ups?
I do not believe so. No, sir.
Okay. So again, moving to the next item on the agenda, presentation of National Academic Games team. Ms. Lametta will give this introduction, and all the recipients will come around and receive a proclamation honoring their activities and the results that they brought to the St. Bernard Parish school system.
Okay, good evening. I have the pleasure of presenting to you the National Academic Games teams, their coaches, and their awards. And as you know, the students went to Knoxville, Tennessee in April and competed against over 2,000 students over 3 days of really intense competition. And the team members earned various awards, including a national champion individual in propaganda. This is the Riley Luria. And this is our 3rd year in a row bringing home some sort of national championship, so we're very proud.
Absolutely.
I'd also like to say that once again, the team players represented our district, their parents, and their schools extremely well. You know, AGLOA and our school system like to put in the students' character and really competing with fairness, and this group of students did that phenomenally well, and really for the whole length of the trip. They were just wonderful people to be around, and really for this, from the flight attendants, the servers in the food area, and the people in the hotel and everyone they competed against commented to me what a wonderful group of students this was. So for this, I'd like to recognize their parents at this time. And in addition, I'd also like to recognize our corporate sponsor, Chalmette Refining, LLC, because as you know, we've enjoyed a tremendous amount of support from them over the years. And I can't stress enough how much their $15,000 donation did to help defray the cost of this national trip to the players, and also helped make our local tournament, you know, something that we could do. So without further ado, I'd like to now introduce the coaches and their players. So we'll start off with the elementary division team. Coach, Melinda Hall. Congratulations. And the elementary team competed in presidents against 40 teams and won honorable mention. And those are the new purple trophies that you see here, the honorable mention. And in propaganda against 42 teams, they also came out honorable mention. Okay, so first we have Lena Abdelatif. and Leanne DeCula. Ayla Hoy. Congratulations. Caleb Myers. And Luke Radzewski.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And next, we have the Middle Division team. And Middle Division in the President's Tournament, out of 38 teams, earned Honorable Mention Team Award and a 9th place individual. In Equations, out of 41 teams, an Honorable Mention Team Award. And in addition, Miss Gina Azevedo won Outstanding Coach Award.
Wow.
Thank you, Gina.
Okay, so we have Austin Billiot.
Great job, Austin.
Congratulations, Austin.
Kelsey Billiot.
Congratulations, Kelsey.
Erin Laria.
Good job, Aaron.
Natalia O'Haver. And with 9th place individual award in Presidents, Emily Vu.
Congratulations, Ellen.
Now, for the high school team, in Presidents, out of 24 teams, they had a 5th place team award and a 4th place individual award in propaganda out of 27 teams, 2nd place team award, and 8th place individual and 1st place national champion in propaganda. So the coach is Miss Jillian Christman. Gabrielle Maldonado.
Great job.
Ahmed Alkurd.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just like you, whenever you got on.
Hai Win. Danton Vu.
Thank you. Great job. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And with 4th place individual in presidents and 8th place individual with propaganda, Kenny Wynn.
Congratulations.
And out of 132 players, our national champion in propaganda, Riley Loria.
Fantastic.
And I'd also, thank you, guys. Thank you. I'd like to recognize, he's not here tonight, Ryan Gregoire. He's our student coach. He's been helping with all of our teams. He's been a phenomenal asset to us over the years. So he did come with us and work with students throughout the whole year, local and national. But he wasn't able to be with us tonight.
Mayor Lametta, come up and get your award. We appreciate all the years you've put in. It's obvious. It's coming shining through. Thank you so much for all you do.
My pleasure.
It's like a dynamo. It's always going to be. It's always.
Thank you.
Take a second and take some time.
All right, we'll take a break and take some pictures now.
Okay.
Where we'll form on the inside of the horseshoe.
Well, why don't we put the kids behind the
Okay, the awards.
trophies,
Yeah,
and
that's,
then y'all can
we'll
flank
gather.
them.
We'll gather around.
Okay.
Want to do all the teams?
Why don't you do one team at a time? Around this, correct?
Coaches?
Just one second.
Yeah. Still on? Oh, well, we could say it anyway. All right. We congratulate the academic games team for participating and representing the St. Bernard school system. We thank the coaches, Ms. Lametta, for all the work they've done to bring back these trophies and represent us well. So thank you very much. At this point, we'll move the agenda to item 7, motion to incorporate the May the 13th, 2014 General Committee report into the minutes of the May regular monthly meeting. Motion by Mr. Warner, second by Dr. Lewis. So any questions about the report? Hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Agenda item 8, motion to approve the guide to student conduct for the 2014-2015 school year, and there was a recommendation by the committee. Motion by Mr. Campbell, second by Ms. Acevedo. Any questions relative to the guide to student conduct? Hearing none, since we've already discussed this and recommended, we'll ask you to vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Agenda item 9, motion to approve the 2014-2017 technology plan. Motion by Dr. Lewis, second by Mr. Nicosia. Any questions? Mr. Brown. Hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Personnel changes for May the 2014. You have item 9 in your folder. 10, right. Personnel changes, item 10. If you have any questions, Mr. Granberry will be glad to answer them for you. The yellow highlighter means that those were added since the committee meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Take a moment to peruse these. And Mr. Granberry is waiting patiently for any questions.
I just want to mention that we do have a retiree,
Okay.
Eileen Dana, who has worked with our preschool program for many years, and before that with the school system as a whole, as one of our social workers, and has done an excellent job, and she will be sorely missed. And we want to thank her and wish her well in her retirement.
Thank you, Superintendent Boche, and we all, as a school board, wish her well in her retirement. And the retirement days to be blessed. Okay, hearing no questions.
You do have to vote on the leave without pay.
Oh, we do
Last
have that,
page.
leave without pay. Is that? Okay, we have a motion. Second by Mr. Campbell. Motion was made by Mr. England. Okay, hearing, see no hands, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay. Item 11, personnel appointments, and then you have that in your folder also. And that's the whole entire list of personnel, right, for the school system.
As of this time.
Yeah, things are always subject to change.
Subject
Only
to
thing that
change.
is constant is change. All
I'll
right.
move that we
Constant change.
approve the appointments, Doc.
Do we need we don't need a.
Oh, we
motion.
don't need it? Okay.
We
No,
thank
we
you
don't.
for your report, and we have received it. Okay, you're on item 12 also. Motion to approve the 2014-2015 personal evaluation plan, and we did have a motion by the committee. This is under item 12 in your folder. Okay, so we need a motion on this. Mr. Nicosia, we have a second by Mr. Campbell. Any questions of Mr. Granberry relative to this personnel evaluation plan? Hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay, item 13, there was a recommendation by the committee and we need a motion to approve the request for permission to mail letters of assurance. Mr. Campbell motions, Mr. Nicosia seconded. Any questions relative to the request to mail these letters of assurance? Okay, all vote your machines, favor or nays or abstains.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Granberry, appreciate it. Item 14 on the agenda is a motion to approve the 2014-2015 general fund and special revenues funds budgets, and there was a recommendation by the committee. If we need any distinct information, we have Mr. Fernandez here with us, and he'll be glad to field your questions. Who made that motion, Mr. Long? Second by Dr. Lewis. Okay. All right. Stay put there. Vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item 15, motion to approve the adoption of 2014 millage rates. We need you up in front there, Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is just a general procedure that we have, and you can approve adoption of the millage rates up to how much?
This is the annual levying of our regular millage rates for
Okay.
operations and debt service.
Okay.
And we're up to the previous year's, we're using the previous year's rates.
Okay, so this is par for the course.
Yes, sir. It's
Not
a
any-
normal process we go
Yeah.
through every year.
Nothing new.
No, sir.
Okay. So, thank you. Any questions
And
of
requires
Mr.
a voice
Fernandez?
vote. I'm sorry.
Right, we need a
Pardon?
roll call vote.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote.
Okay.
Superintendent Shea,
Ms.
will you call the roll?
Acevedo?
Yes.
Wait, did somebody make a motion? I'm sorry. I'm good at jumping on here.
Didn't you? Okay, we need a motion. Mr. England made a motion, second by Mr. Egan, the two E's. Okay,
Okay, Mrs. Acevedo?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Tafada?
Yes.
Mr. Regan?
4.
Mr. England?
Yeah. 4.
Dr. Kraft?
for,
Dr. Lewis?
4.
Mr. Long?
4.
Mr. Nicosia?
4.
Mr. Warner?
4.
It's 10-4.
okay. We move to item 16 on the agenda, motion to approve the administrator's request to renew the fiscal agency agreement with Capital One Bank and Gulf Coast Bank for the period of July the 1st, 2014 through June the 30th, 2015. We got a motion by Mr. Campbell, second by Mr. Long. Any questions of Mr. Fernandez? Okay, they have been the fiscal agents up to this point, and this is to continue that relationship with those two banks. Is that correct?
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Fernandez?
We're renewing our agreements at the same terms that we presently have.
Okay. So it won't cost us any more?
No,
than
sir.
it's been costing, okay.
No, sir.
That's always a good deal. No increases. We have a motion and a second, so vote your machines.
Motion passes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, and 2 abstentions. Mr. England and Mr. Warner abstain.
Item 17, a motion to approve the administration's request to solicit proposals for substitute management services. Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Lewis, second by Mr. Long. Any questions relative to this request? Okay, there was a recommendation by the committee. Hearing no one at their microphones or hands up, vote your machines.
Mr. England. Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez.
Thank you.
Dr. Gonzalez gave the committee the information on this request, and It was a recommendation of the
So moved.
full committee. We have a motion by Mr. Warner, second by Mr. Nakosha. Any questions? There, hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item 19, there was no recommendation. This is a new item on the committee. It's a motion to approve the administration's request to continue membership in the District Co-Operative of Louisiana. That gives us more buying power to buy things in a group than if we launched out on our own. So it's worked out well. And
As Ms. Lumet is here to speak a
right,
little
you
bit
got
about
some
it.
facts.
Yes, sir. Good evening once again. So I'm bringing before you tonight, for your approval, the agreement to renew our membership in the District Co-Operative of Louisiana, which is known as the DCL. And this is basically a cooperative of 42 districts who join together to try to use multi-district approaches to increase student success. And one of their main functions is they also seek discounted costs for volume pricing. And the cost for us to renew our membership is $2,000, but we save well over $25,000 on software purchases through the cooperative. One of the main things we buy is Odyssey-ware per student at the high school level, and that really helps us with our grade recovery and keeping our students on track. So in your handouts, I've given you an overview sheet and then a copy of the agreement that we sign.
This is in your folder, item 19. Motion by Dr. Lewis to approve this. Second by Mr. Campbell. Looking at the DCL overview, if you have questions, anything for clarification, then you may ask Ms. Lametta.
I have a question, Doc.
You have a question?
Yes. Ms. Lametta, the agreement, is it going to mirror the same agreement that the Vermilion Parish School Board?
Yes, this is the agreement we signed last year. It's the exact same agreement. We're just going to renew for another year.
Okay.
It's with the Vermilion Parish School Board. They're the lead entity in the DCL.
Oh,
So
okay.
the agreement would be a
With the-
intergovernmental agreement between the St. Bernard Parish School Board and the Vermilion Parish School Board. And as Ms. Lumetta said, the main vendor that they have negotiated some discounted prices with that we use is Odyssey-ware, which is software in our blended learning program, especially in our goals program, and for students that need more of an individualized approach. It's the software, and we can buy the licenses at $20 per student through the cooperative, and on the open market, it's over $200 a student. So that one initiative, and we buy 300 licenses, isn't it, Ms.
Yes.
Lena? So that one expenditure saves us over $20,000.
That's a good savings compared.
So,
Even Mr. Fernandez will agree that's a bargain.
so Ms. Foche, school systems around the state can use and sign on
Yes,
to
there are
this?
42 of us, as Ms.
42
Lametta said, who have
schools, right.
entered into this cooperative agreement, which then allows us to get some of the discounted prices on primarily educational software that companies are putting out now.
Okay, I was wondering why it was based in a small town like Abbeville,
Yeah.
but now I know.
And in addition to the
They're the
software, they
leaders.
also have meetings on topics around the state, bring state people in to do presentations for us on pertinent topics. So they do a good job helping us keep informed of what's going on at the state level as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Fadden?
Thank you. Ms. Lametta, how long is this agreement for? Is this something we have to do yearly, or
Yes.
is this
Yearly.
every year we do it? Thank you.
Any other questions of Ms. Lemon? There are no other questions or concerns, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Items to be placed on the agenda next meeting, you may call these out or turn them in to Ms. Benezak.
Number 20.
Skip
20?
one.
Oh, review of test scores, we can't leave that out. Oh, my goodness. People would be calling. phone would be lined up tomorrow.
We can leave it out.
It wouldn't be a good idea. Yeah. Item 20
Yes.
for considerations. I believe Ms. Lametta has the facts and figures
Yes.
there to tell us about St. Bernard.
Yeah, so I have the
Ms. Lametta.
privilege of bringing you some good news about the test scores. So when the state released the district rankings today, even with the more difficult assessments that we had this year on the Common Core standards, our district remained above the state in percentages of students scoring proficient, which is basic or above, in every grade level and in every subject, and in many grade levels and subjects, double digits above the state. And of course, these results were due to a great deal of hard work on the part of the students, the parents, the teachers, and administrators. So on the first page of your handout, I've given you the chart I give you each year, which if you look from left to right, the first row is third grade, and all 4 subjects go across the right. So all the purple subjects are English, the green is math, the yellow is science, and the pink is social studies. So the first number I've given you under third grade ELA is the percentage of students scoring basic or above in our district, and the number directly to the right is the state, and then in purple is the difference. So for each subject going across and down and grade level, you see that our students scoring basic or above, the state, and then the difference. So the differences are all in color there.
And these summaries just came out today, so we thought we would bring them to you this evening so that you would have the preliminary information that's being handed out. And we'll be analyzing them in much more depth, school by school, and in different, different areas. And then when we do our data fest that third week in June, where we bring all of our administrators and lead teachers together to work on our plans for next year, we'll be utilizing, the analysis, the in-depth analysis of all the data that goes into making up these summary sheets.
So on the second sheet, I've given you basically just a quick overview of our rankings, and you can see in your second sheet that we've earned the ranking of 11th in the state in percentage of students scoring basic or above, with 78% scoring basic or above. And also, we've earned 11th in the new statistics the state's now putting out. They're now giving the percentage of students scoring mastery or above, which would be mastery and advanced. So we were also 11th in the state in the percentage of students scoring mastery advanced, with 31% of our students scoring mastery or advanced. And in addition, on the bottom, we had several subjects ranking in the top 10 in percentage of students scoring basic or above. Third grade social studies ranked 10th in the state. Fourth grade math ranked 10th in the state. 7th grade math ranked 10th in the state. 5th grade math ranked 9th in the state. 6th grade math ranked 9th in the state. 8th grade social studies ranked 8th in the state. 6th grade social studies ranked 7th in the state. And 3rd grade math ranked 4th in the state in percentage of students scoring basic or above.
Any other questions? Ms. Lametta, thank you for getting this today and pulling this all together for a meeting tonight.
Sure.
I don't think the Department of Education will act that fast. We've seen evidence of that. And they want to get us some more information relative to this after they've had a chance to evaluate the numbers. So we look forward to their total overview and evaluation.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Okay, so superintendent's recommendations.
Just that we are closing out what we consider a very successful school year. There are many little programs and exit ceremonies at the different schools. Tomorrow we'll have many of them in the 8th grade and the 5th grade and the preschool program. And the last day of classes for the students will be Thursday, and the teachers will come in Friday for Records Day and to pack up. And we have a whole 2-day weekend before we start our summer skills and remediation program on Monday. So
Weekend break.
we're going to have a very, very busy summer with the programs that we have for students. And then for those who have to retake the 4th and 8th grade LEAP test, that will be at the end of June. So we'll have an intensive academic program in the month of June for those particular students, then they'll retake their tests. And hopefully we'll have a couple of weeks break before we start up and bring everybody back again. But we'll be having workshops, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next month, over the course of the entire summer for our teachers, primarily to analyze what we've done this past year and to gear up for the work for the coming year. So.
Thank you. Superintendent, do you have a question?
Okay, speaking of the LEAP results, when will the parents be notified?
The parents
Or
were
have they?
already notified. The individual scores came in last week.
Last week.
So we sent those home with the parents. The aggregate, the summary scores for your district and the state came out last night. I guess it was about 8 o'clock last night when we got those. So we worked on putting this together this morning in the aggregate, and we'll further analyze them. But so the parents and the students already know what their 4th and 8th grade LEAP scores were. And for those students who had difficulty with it and must retake it this summer, we made an individual contact with each parent prior to discussing it with the child.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Mr. Egan?
This is fantastic, and I'm sure we're going to let the news media know of this. And I'm talking about the papers now. Because usually they'll tell you what thing that happened in New Orleans and all the other ones. And then maybe we'll get a paragraph and never really get the recognition I think, the school system deserves. So I think, it wouldn't hurt to call and send this little poop sheet to them.
Yeah. Well, we've, I think they're all on top of these scores at this point. But, but you're right, Mr. Egan, when we do well, sometimes there is no recognition. It's when you don't quite do as well, it seems like.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
You're absolutely right. So,
Well, we good local coverage.
yeah.
Chad West here.
Chad will take care
Okay,
of it.
Chad will be here, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good to have you,
I
Chad.
didn't see you say
He's talking about the big papers, Chad.
Give him a copy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And the voice
Just-
of the big paper.
Just call the superintendent's office if you need any more information. They'll be glad to, her staff to provide it.
Okay.
Any other concerns or things that you just need to say before we adjourn? All right. Entertain a motion. Second by Ms. Acevedo. We stand adjourned. Have a great night.